like a geezer.
Alright, Jenny, you go ahead and start playing that record now. Hello, all you young whippersnappers out there. It is I, Pappy, Papa. Wow, it's been like a long time since I did an episode of one of these. But it feels good to be back. And it feels good to know that spring is in the air. I love this time of year. It feels good upon all my whiskers. It makes me feel all warm and cozy inside. I love the springtime. I'm starting to notice that flowers are blooming everywhere. I see daisies, lilies, sunflowers, roses, dandelions. It's so pretty. But now, I know a lot of you folks out there, some of you like planting your own flowers. Some of you like gardening. But let me tell you, I used to be a gardener myself. So today I want to talk to you about them olden days of gardening. Now mind you, I know that a lot of you folks out there, y'all have these fancy doodah contraptions like greenhouses, water beds, water hoses, water spigots, watering cans. I didn't have that privilege when I was coming up. You see, back in my day, yes, I started gardening at a young age when I was with my mama back in the day. But as I grew older, I started to garden a little bit more. I can't garden nowadays on account of my arthritis, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, back in my day when I was a lot more youthful, I used to garden with all my hoes. See, that's one of them. That's a pretty hoe right there. But yeah, well, when I was a lot younger though, like very, very young, I remember growing up on the farm with my mama, and what happened was, like, I remember that, okay, before I continue, I almost forgot one thing, forgot one detail. I noticed that some of you out there, you use this fancy bags of fertilizer, alright? Back in my day, when we wanted fertilizer, we had to get it straight from the source. The cow's butt. Yes, we had to go get our fertilizer straight from the cow's booty. That's right. And I remember one time, it was almost Mother's Day, and I wanted to get my mom something for, I wanted to get my mom something for Mother's Day. I didn't have nothing. I didn't have any pennies or dimes. I didn't have no nickels or quarters to my name back when I was a little youngin'. So I just said, you know what, I'm gonna give her something. I'm gonna need to give her some flour. So what happened was, it was like the worst day of my life. I was inspired by the worst day of my life. It was the worst day of my life and the greatest day of my life at the same time. Alright, I used to have this cow back in the day. His name was Cowie. I think some of you may know him already. But one time, Cowie, he got a bad case of diarrhea. Yeah, he did. It was disgusting. It was nasty. So, like, one day, Cowie, he ended up getting diarrhea, right? And he started pooping all over the pasture. It was stinky. He had the whole farm smelling like, core memory unlocked. Yeah. So anyway, youngins, back to the story. Cowie, he had diarrhea. He was pooping all over the farm. And I know that I needed to use his manure to help me grow some flowers. So one day after Cowie's diarrhea incident, I went out there to go pick up some of the cow manure, and mind you, it was still liquid. So as I didn't have anything to carry it in. I had to carry it all in my hands. So what happened was, I had to like scoop it up like a big old. I had to scoop a big handful of Cowie's liquid diarrhea. So I had one handful, right? I started carrying it, and then all of a sudden, I tripped over something that it went right to my face. It was disgusting. Yeah. To this day, I can still smell it on my fingers. But anyway, I had to go back, because I was determined. I had to go back and get a second handful. This time I didn't trip. I was able to make it to where I wanted to plant the flower at. So I got to the gardening area, my desired gardening area. I put it down there, and then I started like sprinkling some seeds onto it. So the next day, I started noticing that flower is growing out of where I put the poop at. And then my mom noticed what I was doing, and I knew the jig was up. I couldn't keep the surprise anymore, but she said, you know what? She said, you know what, Sonny? We can still use that flour. We can. You see, I'm trying to make some brownies later, and we could use some flour for the recipe. She said, Mom, I don't think this is going to work. She said, yes, it is. It is going to work. Just go get the flour so we can put it in the brownie. So I went out there. I picked up that flour that was growing out of the poopy, and I went and took it to my mom and said, oh, Sonny, this is the best flour I've ever seen. It's so beautiful. And now let's use it to make brownies. But I said, Mom, it already came from brownies. It was liquid brownies, but it's still brownie nonetheless. But she put it in the recipe, and it became so scrumptious. Yeah, it became so scrumptious. Moral of the story is this: don't be a blooming idiot. Have a good day.